I just finished a trilogy that I have not seen talked about enough online. Now, what trilogy is that, you may be asking? Well, look no further than The Five Broken Blades by Mai Corland, Four Ruined Realms, and Three Shattered Souls. This trilogy is phenomenal. I cannot emphasize that enough for you right now. Like, it is legit phenomenal. And I'm going to tell you all about it. Obviously, not Four Ruined Realms and Three Shattered Souls, but I'm going to tell you all about Five Broken Blades. So let's get right into it. Hey besties, what's up? My name is Meg. Welcome back to my channel. In today's video, obviously, we are talking about Five Broken Blades. This is a review video because I read these books just for fun on my own, and I don't see hardly anybody talking about these books, and genuinely, I think we need to be, because this was such a good trilogy. I loved it. It's now completed. I finished it literally just like 5 minutes ago, and I have to tell you all about it. So just a forewarning, in case you see me looking down, I do have notes because I definitely wanted to be able to touch a little bit on everything. So if you see me looking down, that's why. So Five Broken Blades is a fantasy set in an oppressed kingdom of Yusan, where the seemingly immortal King June reigns with a cruel authority. The story follows 6 dangerous and morally ambiguous characters drawn into a conspiracy to overthrow the king, each with their own motives and personal debts tied to him or the political situation of the realm. Our main characters are Royo, who is a scarred enforcer who lives by a personal code. He can hurt, but he can't kill. He's hired by Ari, an enigmatic thief, with the promise of money to help him free someone he deeply cares about. Ari, a skilled thief whose cheerful exterior hides urgent reasons for wanting to bring down the king. Her mission is treasonous and tied to removing King June's Ethereum crown, which is believed to grant him the immortality. Then we have Sora, a poison-trained assassin coerced into the conspiracy via threats against her sister's life. Tasked with killing the king, she must walk the perilous path between duty and personal survival. Then we have Yoon, the exiled and presumed dead prince of Yusan, recruited by Mikhail, the royal spy master, his former lover, to aid in the assassination and reclaim his throne. Mikhail, a charismatic but ruthless spy master, whose wider motives involve vengeance and resistance against June's oppressive rule. Then we have Taeyang, Count Seok's son, escorting Sora under familial and political pressure. The novel ends with the group forced into uneasy cooperation, with the immediate next mission already looming, setting up for the sequel. So some of our major themes that we have are moral ambiguity and gray characters. This story thrives on morally gray protagonists whose motivations blur the lines between righteousness and self-interest. Characters like Mikhail and Yoon, they pursue revenge just as much as they do justice, often behaving with violence and a ruthlessness that mirrors the regime that they're trying to dismantle. Trust and betrayal. Shifting alliances and deceit are central. Each character hides secrets and agendas from the others, making trust both scarce and costly. Their ability or inability to rely on one another becomes crucial to the plot's tension. Resistance under oppression. Many characters are shaped by oppression, be it social, political, familial, systemic. Their participation in the conspiracy reflects different forms of resistance, from open rebellion to covert subversion, and explores an ethical cost of each path. Consequences and miscommunication. Misinterpretations and lack of transparency heavily impact relationships and plans. Sora and Taeyong's dynamic, for example, highlights and withheld truths shape personal bonds while affecting broader outcomes. Tropes and are narrative devices that are used within the Five Broken Blades, a motley crew or six strangers to allies. So it's essentially each person has their own skill set and then they're brought together for an assassination job. It's a heist fantasy and an assassination plot. A layered plan involving theft, infiltration, and regicide as central narrative pillars. It's a multi-POV. It's told from the different perspectives of Royo, Ari, Sora, Taeyong, Mikhail, and Yoon. It's a found family or a reluctant brotherhood. Characters with different agendas eventually form a bond under extreme pressure. It's a reluctant hero or anti-hero ensemble. None of our characters are traditional heroes. They are flawed with complex pasts and selfish motives. The twist ending sets up the next book for success. The final conclusion being Five Broken Blades is a fantasy that blends together political intrigue, high-stakes schemes, personal agendas, personal vengeance, and uneasy alliances. It leans heavily into character-driven plotting and morally gray territory, often asking not who the good guys are, but why anyone would risk everything to stop an immortal tyrant, and what price they'll pay if they succeed. What were my thoughts about the trilogy? What did I love about this trilogy? Oh my gosh. I listened to all three books on audio. One, because I wasn't sure how names, places, everything like that was supposed to be pronounced. So I wanted to have that. But each character had their own voice actor for that character. So there were 6 different voice actors per point of view. The subtle romances added into the plot while also bringing big doubts and reasons as to why this love cannot exist. I loved the constant unknown on whether or not I could trust these characters to show their true cards or if it's all just a poker face hiding a double crossing. I also loved how the way the characters were in constant fighting for their lives scenarios. Perfect. Everything. As soon as one thing would happen, it seemed to be solved. Something immediately right away would happen, turn around again, and they are fighting for their lives once again. I thought how the characters could create such familial bonds while also withholding secrets from one another was crazy. I kid you not. C-R-A-Z-Y, crazy. Something I really enjoyed as far as the books was Mai Corland's writing style and the way that she writes her characters, how they have the complex pasts, how they have their own personal motives and secrets, and how she was able to essentially get you to have that twist ending at the end of each book, setting up into the next one, was baffling. I loved it. Also, the way she writes her prose, I loved that, especially in the third book. And then ultimately, my favorite character had to either be Sora or Ari because of the way that they held themselves as a strong female character. That is all that I have as a review for the Broken Blades trilogy. The ratings I gave these books were 4 stars for 5 Broken Blades, 4 stars for 4 Ruined Realms, and 4.5 stars for 3 Shattered Souls. That is all of my thoughts and reactions to the Broken Blades trilogy by Mai Corland. Thank you so much for watching today's video. I know this is a little different than what I typically do, but I just felt that I needed us to talk about these books because I genuinely have not heard very many people on the internet talking about these books. I mean, like, come on. Like, they were so good. I loved them. Highly, highly suggest you listen to them through audiobook, but that is not required. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching today's video. I hope you did enjoy us having a little chit chat. Do all of the YouTube things you know how to do, and I will see you in a bit. Bye!